What up, World 502 King Power? So I got a very special guest with me today. I don't get the chance to do interviews that often, man, but I'm glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
First off, man, introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name is Brandon Rudolph.
Brandon Rudolph.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And where you from?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hometown. So
Yes,
tell
sir.
me
Born
about
and
your...
raised.
Where you say?
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Tell me about your upbringing, man. Like, what kind of upbringing did you have? Because a lot of people, they tend to think that, you know, for the people who don't know, what's your profession, first off?
I'm an attorney.
Attorney, okay.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people think when they meet attorneys or see people that go into their profession, they must have came from some well-to-do background or whatever like that. So, I mean, what was your upbringing like coming up?
My upbringing was, you know, it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best at the same time, you know, different family dynamics. But at the end of the day, I can say I had a good supporting cast as far as my family and, you know, especially my brother, my mom, my dad, you know, my sisters and, you know, extended family of that nature. So I can't say it was bad, but I had a supportive family. It wasn't the best by no means, but at the same time, it wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
But I had a good upbringing for the most part.
That's good. That's good, man. So, where did your passion from law come from in the first place? What even got you interested in going into that field?
Basically, I would have to give credit to my older brother. My older brother kind of installed it in me at a young age. I'm not necessarily sure where he got it from, but you know, my older brother's about three and a half years older than me. So for the most part, you know, he was like, hey, one day we're gonna own our own law firm, Rudolph and Rudolph. And, you know, I guess I was so young, you know, the younger you are, you're more influential. So,
So around what age would you say he was having them kind of conversations with you?
I can't even remember, bro. Probably maybe, because he's 7, 8. You know, so I remember. Very young. Yeah, since I can remember, you know, that you always just joke about it, Rudolph and Rudolph, you know. But, yeah, that's pretty much where it came from. Then, you know, kind of followed his trail. He went to Louisville Central High School, was in the law and government magnet. And, you know, I went to Mazik for middle school, then I went to Central, kind of followed his footsteps and joined the law and government magnet as well.
That's what's up, man. So your school actually had a law program there. And what did they do to help prep you for the next stage that you was going to be going to? What was the biggest benefit you would say?
The biggest benefit for me, I would say, was at that time was, of course, my family, but also the teacher in the law and government magnet, Mr. Gutman.
Okay.
You know, because he taught my brother, I think, for a year. He was taught by Mr. McElroy before that. And, you know, I guess he liked my brother. Then I went there when he was a senior, I was a freshman, and, you know, I followed that same path. So he kind of pushed me and expected more out of me because he knew my brother.
So he was really supportive of you during that stage. You had someone outside of family that also was pushing you and motivating you to reach that next level. Yeah,
because, you know, with my brother being at Magnet, he had spoken with my mom, and knowing, you know, the background we come from, I could say he pushed me a lot extra because of who I was and who my parents were. And, you know, he expected more from me than I could say some of the other students.
So, you know, the people who's not from Louisville, they probably don't know about Central too well. So what kind of school was Central that had this magnet? Like, if you was just describing to somebody who's not from Louisville.
Describe Central or the magnet?
Central itself. Like, what kind of school was it?
It's sad to say, I don't know why, but people frown upon Central for certain reasons, personal reasons of their own. Granted, Central was in the middle, not in the middle, but, you know, close to the West End, you know, surrounded by, at that time, different projects, you know, lower base income housing. But at the same time, in order to get into Central, you had to apply. It wasn't no homeschool or anything. Like Central was, what, I think 98, 96% black, probably only 30, 40% male.
Yeah.
So, you know, it had a real strong black pride behind it. You know, Muhammad Ali went there, and a number of people went there that people don't realize. But Central was a great school. Central put out great people into this world that made great impacts on society and whole.
Most definitely, and it's mostly like you said, black is inner city, so people already have these preconceived notions about it without even really knowing too much about Central. But they did have that law program and other programs as well, so they were exposing children at a younger age to, you know, some real professions, like careers that they could go and, you know, steering them in the right direction. So going to that inner city school, you know, mostly black, has these preconceived notions, and then your background and being from Louisville as well. How did you stay focused through this whole process? How did you stay, like, what was your focus? What was your driving factor when you was going for your law degree, going through law school and trying to pass the bar and all this stuff?
To be honest, bro, it's been hashtag for a minute. I would say, you know, I've been hashtagging this on Facebook before Dre came out with the song about it. I say it's God's plan, because to this day, honestly, I know there's no way I could have got here by myself. Like, God had bigger plans for me, and he had a bigger picture for me, and I just followed his plan.
Right. So you brought up God. So what's your relationship? Do you have a strong relationship with God? Do you pray often, or not really too much into religion? Like, what's your background as far as that?
I can say I could pray more, but I grew up in a religious household. You know, my mom, when I was probably middle school sometime, she became a minister, got ordained. So, you know, she made sure, you know, she didn't overly push us, because, you know, if you push somebody too hard, they, you know, get rebellious and don't do it. But she installed enough in us to where it made us, and we saw the difference where we went on our own as we got older. And man, like, the stuff I've made it through, being different odds, statistics, it's nothing but a higher being. Right. Nothing but God's plan.
So being that you know that this is something that God wanted for your life, what is the impact that you're wanting to make? Because we get the blessings in life, but we know when we receive certain blessings, it's a higher calling to it. What's the impact that you are making, or, you know, wanting to make in your career as far as the community? Because, you know, it's always been a rough history with black folks, police, just the criminal justice system in itself. So what impact are you wanting to make on a legal level, being a lawyer yourself?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure all that out. It's still coming together. But one thing I could say is I'm trying to impact younger African-American males especially, that this goal or dream, if you want to become a lawyer or an attorney, isn't so far-fetched. It isn't. One thing I like telling people, you know, I always ask people, what's the difference between you and a NASA scientist? Or it can be a NASA scientist, attorney, doctor, brain surgeon, anything. But I usually use NASA scientist because that's usually one of those careers where you got to be extra smart, or they feel like it's so far-fetched. But I always ask them, what's the difference between you and a NASA scientist? And they usually come back, I don't know. And I always tell them, they studied for it and you didn't.
Right.
Meaning you can be anything you want to be. You just got to put your mind to it. You just got to study. Didn't nobody wake up and have the smarts of a NASA scientist.
Yeah, it's hard work.
They opened the book, they read, they did their research. And that's the same thing with anything you want to be in life. You just got to put your mind to it, focus, and put that work in, put that time in, and you can do that.
So it's a great answer, man, and great perspective, especially for young people out there that really want to do something for yourself, you know, and really see your life going in a direction. But you might not have seen a lot of people around you, you know, enter into that field. So it seems impossible, but nothing's impossible if you're going to put that work in.
But to let me finish your question, you said the impact. The impact I want to do is, because here in Louisville, unfortunately, we don't have a high population or a great diversity in the legal field here. So it's just trying to get out there and get in front of other people or other kids or children who look like me and let them know this isn't as far-fetched. Because when I grew up, I didn't really have nobody in my family that was an attorney. I had a few, family friends that I could look up to as far as that, but I'm first generation attorney in my family. Man. Like I come from the Rudolph name has a great, background. Great aunt Wilma Rudolph, first black woman to win 3 gold medals in the Summer Olympics.
Man, that's crazy.
My granddaddy, James Way, he was the first African American professor to retire from, I want to say, Eastern Kentucky University. So I like, and people tell me this all the time, I come from greatness, and I feel like I'm only destined to be great. You see, you know what I'm saying? So I just try to spread that positivity to other people who aren't as fortunate to have somebody to look up to, or somebody who's done great things that they can look up to, or like everybody comes from greatness. You just got to find it.
Right.
You just got to do it.
A lot of times people follow
that notion of this is what I see, so this is all I can be. That's not true. Right. It's not true. And it's just being exposed to other people that look like you that are doing great things.
That's right.
To let them know it's possible.
So on your journey to, being where you are right now, and I know your journey's not over with, but just being where you are, on that journey, did people ever doubt you? Did you ever have people that were naysayers, or just, people you could tell that really didn't have your best interest in mind on that road, or was everybody pretty much supportive for the most part?
Me personally, I try not to. Everybody's gonna have you always gonna run into those few people that doubt you, but I try not to focus on that, because that's taking your focus off the positivity and putting on the negativity. So I try to surround my people, surround myself around people who have those positive thoughts, who are encouraging, just like I encourage other people who are supportive. Because there's no point in having somebody around you if all they're going to do is doubt you. Of course, I ran into people who doubted me, people who looked at me saying, he's not going to. But, I passed the bar the first time, taking it. Yeah. It's very rare for an African-American, as far as, from my understanding, what I've been told. But by the grace of God, that's why it's called God's plan. I was able to pass on the first go-round, and I didn't have to go through that struggle of having to restudy. And, it's just the support system, the support cast, and surrounding yourself by positive people around people who are doing what you're doing, or surrounding yourself by people who are doing what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? Right. You got to surround yourself around those positive type, like-minded individuals, because as you grow, you're helping them grow, and as they grow, they're helping you grow, and you just grow together.
Yeah, and I talk about that all the time on the channel, man. Just having the right circle around you means so much in whatever it is that you want to do in life. If you have the wrong people around you, they can really pull you down, and you might not have even made it to where you're at now if you had surrounded yourself with people that didn't mean you well, or wanted to see you, fail or not be successful in life, man. So it's great that you're doing that. I got a couple more questions for you here, man. So if somebody wanted to get in contact for you, number one, what kind of law do you practice in? Because there's all different fields or whatever. Do you touch a little bit of everything, or is there a specific part of law that you're involved in?
We touch a little bit of everything at the law firm I work at. Right now, currently, I work at Wembley and Associates, PLLC. We are one of the only all African American law firms in Louisville, Kentucky at the moment.
Black business.
But we do a little bit of everything. We do civil rights, criminal law, civil law, personal injury law, education, employment law. So we do a little bit of everything.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to contact you, they got something going on, a civil case or whatever that they need you involved in, they heard your story, they feel like you would be good representation for them. I mean, how can they get in contact with you? Do you have a certain, you said the law firm. Can you say that again and just give some contact information if they want to reach out to you?
The law firm I work at is Wembley and Associates. You can contact me on my direct line. My phone number is 502-309-9864. or you can email me. My email address, bear with me, it's kind of long, is brudolphattorneyattlaw@yahoo.com. BRUDOLPHATTORNEYATLAW@yahoo.com.
Okay. And I'm going to put that down at the bottom of the screen so that way they have that information. They can pause it or whatever and take it down. Lastly here, before I let you go, man, I do appreciate your time and you coming in. And,
appreciate you.
Man, being fly. He's in his Easter suit, man, but I know it's every day for you, man. Any advice for people thinking about pursuing law? If it's a young man, woman, no matter their race or whatever, if they have a passion for law or they see it being somewhere that they're going to go in life, do you have any advice for them early on?
Do it.
Just
Why
do it.
not? You don't want to look back 10, 15 years from now and always ask yourself, what if?
Yeah.
What could I be, or what could I have done, or could I have actually done it? Like, at least attempt to where you're not asking yourself. I always say, try it. If you fail, you know you tried. But you never know if you're going to win or if you're going to lose if you never try. You're going to miss every shot you don't shoot. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah, that's real.
And with law is in everybody's everyday life. Law is in literally everything. This is what our country is based on. This is how our country is ran. You can do almost anything with law. Like doctors need lawyers. Hospitals need lawyers. If you get in a car accident, you're going to need a lawyer. If you have a slip and fall, you're going to need an attorney. If you're getting harassed, you're going to need an attorney. If you're written or if you own a home, you're going to need an attorney. Like, law is in everybody's everyday life. To the extent there's almost no way around the law. Yeah. It goes from if you drive a car or if you're walking up and down the street and walk across the street versus jaywalking, anything else. Law's in everything.
That's right, man. Well, is there anything else that you want to say? Say at the end of this, man, we're going to wrap it up. Again, I do appreciate your time. I mean, if it's anything else that you want to say, I'm just going to allow you that time, man, to get that off, and we're going to wrap this up here.
I would just like to say I appreciate you for inviting me to do this interview with you. I really do appreciate you. Just follow your dreams, man. If you have an idea, if there's something you always wanted to do it. Always trying to better yourself every day. One thing I always say is I try to surround myself with good vibes and positive energy only. Life's too short to surround yourself around negative people. Always dwell on the negativity. So I just try to push positivity. I try to stay positive, and I try to do positive things.
That's right, man. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you again, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. If y'all got anything to leave down in the comments, man, let me know what y'all think about this interview. Also, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to put in all of his contact information inside of here, man. So again, it's Brandon Rudolph. Appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you.
And it's 502 King Paul, man. Y'all stay tuned.
502 King Paul.
What's up?